Gonna be working on the jet sail today. Hey, it's Josh here, and I'd called this thing a jet john before, kind of switching it up to a jet sail because it's not exactly a john boat, so let's call it a jet sail. And gonna be working on that thing today, getting it all the way to the point of dropping the engine in. Gonna start out here with removing this center section where the rudder used to go because it's just in my way, and I just need a little more space to do some more fiberglass work here.
Cutting this weird section out. I just kind of wanted to show you guys what's underneath there. There's this nasty, what used to be wood, but it's just wood fiber at this point. Got this thing finally cut down. 4 sheets of fiberglass with some wood sandwiched inside, and this is what's left of the plywood that was in there. Pretty weird. I'm kind of wondering, I don't know, that's just weird. But I want to say something just for you guys' information. When you're cutting with the fiberglass with a cutoff wheel, you definitely want to have protection, because the cutoff wheels, they just kind of chunk off and will spit chunks out at you. So like, I use the face mask just because I'm cutting fiberglass, but definitely got to have the glasses. And honestly, I would prefer to wear a full face shield for this, because I don't want anything like hitting me in the neck either. I just wanted to say that so you guys would know. All right, spent a good fair amount of time grinding and cutting on this. Obviously I've got this section removed and taken down where it needs to be, and I'm gonna fill that void with like some epoxy resin or fiberglass resin. Probably epoxy. I like the epoxy better for like filling stuff in, but I know that the epoxy resin has to have its outer layer touching the air, otherwise it can't fully cure. So I do know that fact, and so you can't put poly resin over your epoxy resin. You can see a whole lot of fiberglass material. I just kind of shaved everything down a bit more. Pretty much like a bit of a weight loss program for this thing. Especially this section here. There's a lot of material I was able to remove, and also this section right here. And it's just going to make it a little bit easier to put this back together. Just a lot smoother of areas to work with, so I think it'll really lend itself to being quite a bit easier to put back together. And when I say put back together, I mean like doing the actual fiberglass work, because the way the fiberglass lays down, it's just a lot easier to go on to like a nice smooth transition than to work with a bunch of like 90-degree angles and whatnot. So like basically this area had come out to like here, and I would have had to like fiberglass a section there, but now this is actually all solid, so I only have to fiberglass this area here and this area here. So it also cuts down on the amount of work that I have to do here on the, I guess that's a jet sail. I'm gonna have to call it a jet sail for now. This I've been just kind of gluing around everything. I mean, that seam wasn't really that important, but I just, in my mind, I want to have everything nice and tidy. Just kind of gluing everything. I glued those pieces on in the front there to, that's so I have something on the other side that I can fiberglass to. I'm going to shave it all down though and put some fiberglass over it on this side as well. I epoxied in that section. I just filled it with epoxy so that won't be an issue. There was some fiberglass on the other side, but I wanted that to be nice and solid. Got some epoxy resin going on the rail, and basically when I have extra, I just paint it onto the rail of epoxy resin, and you can see it up here in the sunlight quite a bit better. I just sanded the wood down real quick, and I just want it to be kind of watertight, so In the end, it won't matter too much, the wood on the inside of the boat, if it's watertight or not. But the outside part is definitely going to matter, because obviously that's outside and getting in the water. I have been working on this back area. I ended up cutting my fiberglass. I cut it out, and then I've glued in these pieces of fiberglass that I just cut out from the pieces of the old Sea-Doo hull. And then I'm gonna sand that all nice and smooth, fiberglass both sides of it. And I guess you guys probably haven't seen these little chunks of wood I stuck in the back here, and those are basically just to give some structural support to this area. And also I do need to kind of make it flat going across here. And people have talked about how this is going to swamp when I slow down or whatever, and that may be true in my initial testing, but when it's all done, that will not be an issue at all. But I mean, my plan is still to get this hull seaworthy, drop the engine in, you know, and then take it out and just kind of do some basically sea trials with it to see if it's worth putting a whole crap load more time into making it the way I want it to be. Okay, this huge package showed up from Ultimate Golf Car Accessories, and I have no idea what the heck I ordered from them. So this will be a bit of an interesting unboxing, since I don't even know what the heck is in here. Kinda curious to see what we got. Oh my gosh, hefty. Moving blanket. I got a new moving blanket. Well, here we go, boys. I don't know if you guys realize what we got here, but now I know what this is. Jacob will be cueing the music right now in his mind. There should be one more. There it is. Hello, beautifuls. Can anybody say triple pipes? I know I sure can. Must have been a real pain for that guy to ship this stuff. But now I remember ordering. Now I remember. I just kind of forgot about it. But some of you will be saying, that looks a little weird. I don't quite get it. Well, here is what there is to get. This is snowmobile stuff. So basically, this stuff is off of a snowmobile engine. And I have one engine in this garage that goes on snowmobiles and, well, I want to say jet skis, but Tiger Shark. So somebody had guessed we were going to put pole start on this Suzuki 900. And that's definitely not going to happen. It'd be kind of funny, but that is not where we're going. We're going triple pipes. And as some of you may know, in the snowmobiles with the triple pipes, they rate these engines at 163 horsepower. So whatever this goes in will hopefully have somewheres in that vicinity of horsepower. But there you go. Triple pipes showed up. I didn't realize that's what it was, but that's pretty cool. I'm pretty darn excited. Obviously they're humongous. That's kind of like how we're gonna fit them in there, but we're definitely gonna get to that at some point here. I've got the top side of the boat pretty much mostly squared away as far as sealing it and, you know, getting all the pieces nice and secure. So now I can actually go after the bottom here and not worry about like grinding holes and stuff, and I can actually shape it. So basically I'm gonna be shaping areas like this and whatnot. Gonna be going after the whole bottom end with this and getting my shape right, and then I can finally do the final fiberglass work here on the bottom. Been quite a process so far, and I'm not gonna film any of actually grinding this because it's like full gear, you know, long sleeves, face mask, goggles, the whole deal. So filming this part is just not really on my radar. So day 26 of working on this thing. I kind of carved out the shape yesterday of what the underside should be like, and then I did some resin work, and I ended up notching this out right here because I didn't like the way this was connecting with this. Honestly, it's one of those things where I got a little too crazy with the grinder, and it probably kind of should have just left it the way it was. I didn't like the way my angle was happening here, so you know, it is what it is. I also was doing some sanding on the rest of the boat. You can see it's all chipped up in certain areas, and just sanding it really got the grunge off. I mean, obviously I could pressure wash it, but I gotta sand it anyway, so what does it really matter? I got my final coat of I'm just using epoxy resin. I know that it'll kind of yellow it in the sun, but it's not to look pretty. It's just to seal the wood. I don't want the wood getting waterlogged and soaked. So I mean, that's kind of where we're at. Now I'm going to go ahead, sand everything down again, do another round of fiberglass on the bottom here. I think I will do a reinforcement layer of fiberglass from about here to like here, because right here it's fairly sturdy, but right here not so much. But that's how it's looking so far, and I gotta get this off of here. It doesn't really serve an important purpose as far as I'm concerned. Maybe it is important, and if you know about boat stuff, you can maybe tell me what that is. I'm calling it the sea sail now, I guess. So, wait, the sea sail? The jet sail. The jet sail. That makes more sense. Yes. And you can see the overall shape has been completed. And I've cleaned up the entire front of the boat and getting ready for the final layers of fiberglass work, and a lot of sanding work still needs to be done. It took a long time to decide what to do with this area. I didn't like it the way it was before, so I kind of cut this section out, fiberglassed over it, and hopefully that works out okay. You can see we still need to do a bit of sanding to get everything nice and smooth, but it's coming along. Everything's solid now. It's solid as far as the construction, like it's like a nice one-piece thing. So in that way we're looking pretty good. It took quite a while to get rid of the like mold and stuff and just the buildup of nasty gunk that was on the hull. I could have pressure washed it, but I sanded it off so that I could smooth out the boat as I went along. And I think I'm going to coat the entire bottom of the boat with some resin just to get a nice solid seal on everything. And hopefully we'll be getting this thing out on the water pretty soon. Getting ready to do another round of the fiberglass on here. Just kind of shoring up a few areas that I think could use an extra layer. Doing this spot here just to shore up the boat a little bit. Getting ready to do kind of the last round of fiberglass. And I'm going to go ahead and coat the entire boat, I think, with resin just to get it all sealed up nice. So we have a nice tight, watertight boat. Here it is, got the entire boat coated in resin. Well, minus this, the sea-doo section. That should be already pretty well sealed. Probably all clear coat the sea-doo part later on. And this is by no means the final coat on here. This is basically like to seal it. So it's not supposed to really look as much pretty as it is to just seal the dang boat. So there it is. The plan would be to get this painted at some point or another, and that just kind of depends on what kind of theme we want to do on this. When it's all kind of like done and we get a feel for what it is and what it can do.
I'm pretty excited. It's time to drop the engine in. That's always a big stepping point or big milestone in any project, when you've got the hull finished enough to drop the engine in. And that's where we're at right now. I gotta pop the motor in and see how it fits.
There we go, got the engine set down in there for the first time ever. And you can see how it's all kind of fitting together. It's all fitting together pretty well. So far, so good. But, I mean, it should fit because that is the Sea-Doo that it's sitting in. So it should be a real easy fit. So the fitment there is not an issue at all. Looks like it will fit nicely with the rest of the plan for the boat. So we should be able to just sit right in this area where this bench seat is, and that should be fine. It's got all these little like drips and whatever on the rail, and it's something I got to go around and clean up. It's not particularly important because the boat is sealed, or the exterior is sealed, but it just kind of looks weird, so I'd like to go around and clean it up. I am kind of waiting on some sandpaper so I can go ahead and do that for my sandpaper for my sander. So I just got to kind of start putting this engine all back together, just all the little pieces and whatnot, get it ready to run. You know, I got to kind of find places for certain things like the fuel tank and such, and like the ECU and whatever. My plan for this boat, actually, for these particular rail things, is to go ahead and get some foam in there. It'd be easy to do spray foam, but unfortunately spray foam will waterlog, so I need to do closed cell foam. So probably gonna have to cut like an access hole and then stuff it full of all the old foam I have laying around here from, you know, like that Sea-Doo and other things that have been thrown away. Next video on this should have it all put together and out on the water for its very first sea trial, to see kind of whether it's worth it for me to dump a lot of more time into this thing to make it something really unique and really special. But I'm thinking it'll do fine on the sea trial, so pretty sure we are going to go into the next phase and make it something super cool. But yeah, next time you see it, we'll have it out on the water for sure in that video, so you're not going to want to miss that. Also, I do have some other things going on the bench, getting this 1200R engine put back together. This is the Sea-Doo pump from the XP-DI. Got a new wear ring, going to be putting in there, and I'll show you how absolutely destroyed the old wear ring is in the video where we fix up the XP-DI, and hopefully that'll get it running to the where it needs to be. That thing has been a bit of a curse and a burden, but seems like you guys have been enjoying the struggle on that or something. Keep it locked in here at Jetski Brothers, because you do not want to miss what happens next.